There we go. Give me 1 second, guys. Hey, guys. Welcome. How is it going? Please talk about the ACA and me losing my health. God, there's so many things to talk about today, aren't there? Yes, especially recent developments that are really difficult, right? Is your pickle sign in the right is it in the
Yep.
right spot?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
You
we're
know how
good.
it is.
Thank you.
Just making sure. It is hard to know ever. Guys, tap the screen, share the live. Guys, let's tap the screen. Let's try to get to 200,000 likes today. Let's tap. I know we're working, but please, let's support female creators. Let's work as hard as we can. Tap the screen, share the live, get people in here. We have a lot of important stuff to talk about today. Some not so great, some good. But, we got to take the wins where we can get them. I'll just, hey, Chelsea, I know, God, I don't know if you know what's going on with SCOTUS right now, but I think we'll start with talking about that because if it looks like I'm sad, SCOTUS has struck again. The Republicans love the kids, just certain kids, right? Just certain kids, not poor kids, not brown kids, not gay kids, not transgender kids, certain kids. I'm sure there's I'm sure they love some kid. Yeah, I listened to the arguments as well. Did you Frida? Yeah, I know. And the weirdest thing is Gorsuch. What is he doing? What I think it's like half Gorsuch is, I mean, he seems to me to be a bigot, but also a libertarian. So he like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't think Gorsuch knows what to do because he's like, wait, I'm a libertarian. This is probably hypocritical. It is Obama in the building. Hey, Russell, African Knight. If you guys don't know, African Knight, if you go to his live sometime, close your eyes and listen to him speak. He sounds exactly like Obama. You remember how we used to do that with Josh Shapiro?
Yeah.
And it's no, but Russell sounds more like Barack Obama. Like the
I was
cadence is
listening the
even
other day
better.
when he was up. Yeah, that's hilarious. He seems like a good guy too.
Oh yeah, he's super cool. Yeah, he
Same
and he
vibes.
he hangs out with. I mean, I don't know if you guys know who African Knight is. Follow him. He's in the comments. He hangs out with in Michael Cohen's lives, hosts his own lives, has an absolutely smoke show of a wife named Shauna, who I love as well. Yeah, he's great. It's true. You're a great guy. Smart too. So smart. Anyways, guys, keep tapping the screen. Tap, tap, tap. That is Pickles, Venmo, and Cash App down there. The best way to support us. Here's mine. It's a girl has no name, just like my TikTok name and my YouTube name. Follow us. If you don't follow Pickles, follow him. We'll probably, depending on how it goes. The SCOTUS stuff is really bothering me. I've had a tough day. Had a tough morning. First of all, I'm just going to say this really quick. First of all, I'm jogging. And again, so if you guys don't know, I like run, walk like probably 10 to 12 miles a day just around Phoenix, which you ask, is that safe? No, apparently not, because I've been doing it for a year now. And 3 times I've like physically had men like put their hands on me, including this morning in broad daylight. It's like, sir, this guy was like riding on a bike, and I'm like, at first I was walking because I was reading an article. I was working on today's outline. Then I start running, and he's like riding just right behind me, but next to me. And he would ride in front of me, like cut me off, and like be like, oh, let's spend some time together. Just crazy stuff. And I'm like, get away from me. Men,
Yeah, that's not weird.
yeah.
Sheesh.
Oh no, it was super weird. He was probably, I'm just gonna guess, like a 65-year-old man in like a Santa hat on like a bicycle. Like
Oh my God.
it,
What?
yeah, it was very weird. This is like at 9:30 in the morning. I know. Isn't that sad though? Because that's the reality. Thank you for the offer, Russell. Russell's like, because he's also lives in Phoenix with his wife, and it's like, oh, he's like, should I run with you? And that's the reality. I would like to be a person just like men who can run down the street in Phoenix alone Like, whether it's dark or light outside, and people just leave me alone. Well, no, the last time it happened, something really scary happened. Like, this was just a creepy man who was like just being weird. Like, the last time this happened, I like got pushed into a fence. Like, they tried to actually mug me. I don't, why would I run with
Good
money?
Lord.
Yeah, why would I run with money in Phoenix? That sounds really not smart. But yeah, so no, well, this community actually, I have like mace. I have these like alarms you pull like this thing out of because people in this community got them for me after the last
Oh
time.
my
So
God.
no, they actually really work though. And I'm not a person that should have like a real weapon. You know what I mean? Like men are just like carry a pew pew. Like no. Have you read, I mean, men haven't, but there are studies about that. I'm more likely to like pew pew myself, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, in the leg than I
Yeah.
am to like effectively use it.
Yeah. It's always better just to get away.
Who, wait, someone got a Dewey, a senator? Hmm. Interesting. Sorry, I've been listening to the Supreme
Kenya
Court
Ingram.
oral arguments. I'm gonna have to, yeah, I'll check. I need to check my messages. I don't always check my messages. Please do not be offended if I do not see your messages. It's not personal. It's a mental health thing. Like if my therapist had their way, I would never, ever, ever for any reason check a message online because I get a lot of men who say mean or weird, very weird things. So, oh, I forgot that my casting thing. I was like, I can't see. Let's just cover this really quick because let's just try to get through this. Hold on, I'm waiting for it to switch. So, oral arguments just went on this morning for the case. It's out of Tennessee, right? The cool thing, the first transgender lawyer was arguing in front of the Supreme Court alongside Biden's Solicitor General Preligar. And I mean, that's cool, right? Three families who've been
Yeah.
disproportionately affected by this. Um, one is a trans girl named LW. Super, super cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool story. And they basically are saying, on the basis of discrimination based on sex, that, for instance, Vanderbilt University, in the case of LW, shutting down their gender affirming care program for children is disproportionately affecting and discriminating against them. Um, I was hopeful yesterday. Hey, Story. Hey, I was hopeful yesterday because it looks like, hey, the Supreme Court has a line. If you don't, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday on Monday, they heard a case about it's like something versus Triton. It's about vaping, right? It's about the flavored pods or liquid that kids are very susceptible to. And Trump ran on saving the vaping industry and somehow being like, oh no, it's their right. They should be able to market to kids and sell flavors like Mother's cookies and milk. That's literally one of the flavors in this lawsuit. Mother's cookies and milk. Do you think that maybe that disproportionately might appeal to children?
I know exactly what that is too.
You do?
Yeah.
I was reading some of the flavors that are listed in this lawsuit, and they're like crazy. It's like suicide bunny. Like I was like, wait, what is this? Mother's cookies and milk? But I mean, yeah, there's a great Netflix documentary on Jewel. Thank you so much for subscribing, you guys. My subscription goal is 450 today. It is so important to me to reach it. That is how I, kind of forecast monthly income and be able to be okay. So if you guys can subscribe, it'd be much appreciated. You can also subscribe to Pickles, right? That's his Cash App and Venmo next to him, but also you can go click through to his page, follow him, and subscribe there as well. I wish there was
Yeah.
an easier way to do that when people were in live.
Yeah. I'm also going to be going live tonight, and I mainly do debates. So if you guys are wondering, like, why is this guy up here? He doesn't really say much. I'm getting there. But yeah, I usually do debates. If you like that, give me a follow.
But please stop. We all know that what vape liquid is. Please stop. Like you're not teaching us anything. You're just the guy that states obvious things in the comments. That you're like, yeah, we all know, hoodie. It, anyway, so I was very hopeful because it seems like, oh, I guess these conservative justices do have a line. And that's hey, they don't think because Donald Trump was, given millions of dollars in lobbying money by the vaping industry that they should be able to market and sell this stuff. Because it's dangerous for children. So that was encouraging. So today were these oral arguments, and it was less encouraging, right? It's so I'll just read some. Assessing the court's ultimate direction was complicated, and that's what I'm saying. The weirdest part about the oral arguments was one justice in the conservative majority, Gorsuch, who was the author. That's the weirdest part of it. He was the author of a key case on employment discrimination. The court's decision is expected by June. Like he had every reason to weigh in on this. Everyone was waiting to hear what he had to say. He's probably the most libertarian of the justices and sat in silence the entire time. But there was 5 justices who very clearly, if Amy Coney Barrett's on board, it's time to probably give up. And I just want to read this one part of it that really annoys me. Let me see if I can get this. So it basically said members of the Supreme Court's conservative majority seemed ready on Wednesday to uphold a Tennessee law denying transition care to transgender youth, right? And just be clear, we're talking about puberty blockers, possibly some hormones after years. This is like barely any children are getting surgeries in the entire country. So I just want to be clear what we're talking about. We're talking about puberty blockers, and then years after that, right? Possibly some hormones. Um, yeah. So with some of them saying that judgments, and this is the hypocrisy, this is going to kill you, Pickles. Judgments about contested scientific evidence should be made by legislatures rather than judges.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
this is what John Roberts said, by the way. That's what John Roberts says. So just to clarify what John Roberts, who's the head of the Supreme Court, is saying, he is saying that, hey, we're not doctors. I think he specifically said that. Yeah. The Constitution leaves that question to the people's representatives, meaning states' rights, brother. This is going to be another states' rights
Yeah.
situation. Yeah. Rather than 9 people, none of whom is a doctor. Okay, so I just want to give you an idea. Chevron deference, what they overturned, Chevron deference was basically saying, hey, in these complicated situations where judges aren't scientists, they're not doctors, we will defer to the science, to the scientific experts in that field. And they shat all over that. They got rid of that and said, no, judges are always first. We can always decide first. We're the judges. We don't defer to scientific experts, even if we don't understand science. And in this case, Roberts is saying the exact opposite. I just call it out the hypocrisy as I see it. He's right. Isn't, I mean, and now
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. States' rights, brother. States' rights. They'll decide. They're not experts either.
Let's let lower judges do the thing I say I can't do, or
Exactly.
legislators. Yeah.
They're also not experts, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm
Legislatures who could be paid or lobbied
the
by the
point of
church.
Chevron deference is
Yeah.
to say, we don't care about the experts. We don't care about scientists. We don't care about regulators. We don't care about experts in the field. Judges decide. Judges are always,
Yeah.
that's what they said. Thank you so much for subscribing. Guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live. Let's get some more people in here. Let's see if we can get to push to the For You page. Yeah, so basically, the exact opposite of Chevron deference, which was them saying the opposite. We're the judges. We decide. We don't need any experts. And now they're like, hey, we're not doctors. We're not doctors. Better let the
Love
states
that.
decide. And I think I wrote or put in here what Ketanji Brown Jackson said, because I just love her. She is such a star. She basically said, JKB said, or sorry, KBJ said, leaving the question to the states was an alarming abdication of responsibility. Which she's exactly right. I'm suddenly quite worried, she said, adding that courts must assess the constitutionality of laws challenged on equal protections. That's the point. These kids just want equal protection under the law. That's part of the Constitution.
And yeah, and then they went over whether or not sexes, and that was their argument back. Yeah, distinctions based on sex.
Yeah. It's
And they're like, well, basically, if neither of them are allowed based on the age, I don't know.
well, no, and again, I'll just tell you guys what really bothers me is because, like I was saying yesterday, I have to keep an eye on the red pill bros sometimes. So sometimes I listen to Joe Rogan, and all I hear Joe Rogan telling the red pill bros is, "Hey guys, everyone get on T-gel. I'm on T-gel. Like,
Yeah, right.
I'm on testosterone, bros. Get on testosterone." The same thing. We have trans children making multiple attempts to unalive themselves, saying, I can't look in the mirror, I can't hug anybody, I hate myself, I want to unalive, please help me and give me hormone treatments, and they get nothing.
But dude
While
bros that want to look bigger in the gym, who want a bigger gains
exactly,
from their workout, they get theirs.
when pre-workout isn't enough. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm not, my muscle isn't lean like it used to be. Oh, here's some T-gel, sir. Like that, you can get it online if you're a man.
yeah,
You can just order it. You have an appointment for like 2 seconds and they're just like, here
I've
you
done it.
go. And so just
Yeah,
to be clear, every Rogan bro, every red pill bro is doing gender affirming care, right? But and again, all they have to say is, "Oh, my lean muscle's gone. I'm gaining weight in weird places, and I don't like it." And they're like, here's some testosterone." It's not a shot. It's gel. The majority of the way it's prescribed is gel, but you can in fact get a shot. But the
yeah,
majority of the way it's prescribed to the red pill bros is through a gel.
yeah.
So again, and there's other reasons, like that was the argument, like, hey, young girls in Tennessee, right? At the, girls at the age 6, like I had a cousin who had this happen. It's called precocious puberty. Really
Mm-hmm.
young girls start going into puberty when they are in kindergarten, which is very inappropriate and dangerous. So they give them this same medication, hormone blockers, right?
I
I'm sorry,
believe this is
excuse me,
why it was
puberty blockers.
invented. That's why it was invented.
No, it's not. It
It's not?
actually, well, no, that's an off-market use. Yeah, I learned about this. I was listening to a long thing about this. It's because the FDA never really tests on children. You know what I mean? Like when they run medical tests, it's usually on adults. And then when it's prescribed to children, it's usually off mark or off brand usage because they don't run the FDA tests initially for approval on children. So actually, even precocious puberty, because that's what they're saying. They're like, well, that's an off market or off brand. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh,
Use.
wow. So it was made for gender dysphoria. They were invented for gender dysphoria.
So, anyways, I mean, I'm just saying there are children. So that's what the argument is. They're like, right now in Tennessee, there are children, young children who are on this same prescription that we're trying to give these children. And you're saying only these children who are experiencing gender dysphoria cannot have the care. And they're like, yep. Off label. Thank you. Sorry. I don't know. Was I saying off brand? Yeah, that was gross. Sorry.
Yeah,
I knew, I knew I was
it
getting that
made
wrong.
sense. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, so you can listen to these oral arguments. I mean, it's pretty technical, but yeah, it's what we all thought. I'm not surprised by this. Like I will always try, like Chrissy and I were talk about this sometimes. Like I think I have to maintain a shred of hope, like just for my sanity that sometimes these people's humanity could show through, but We can't get our hopes too far up because it's just not going to happen. Just real quick. Sorry, let me open my email. I just want to open my email. Again, guys, tap the screen, share the live, gift our guest. Cash App is a girl has no name, Cash App and Venmo, and his is Pickles GGS. Please, that is the best ways to support us if need be. And if you leave a message, we will read it aloud on the show. Okay, now that's enough of that. Wait, what was the other thing that happened this morning that I needed to? Oh, I guess one other thing. There's some weird things going on this morning. Did you guys hear about this?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
What is going on? Yeah, this is the CEO of United Healthcare. He was in Midtown, like straight up full on Midtown, like very busy Midtown. And he was just pewed at point blank range, coming like out of a hotel. Like, and the person, there's a manhunt going on. He jumped on a bike, I guess. He was last seen in Central Park, and they're looking for him.
Wow.
Like they don't have the guy.
Wow. I saw the comments on God, it's like somebody who posted on TikTok the news about this, and the comments are like, "Oh, anyway, maybe they'll catch him, and 2 weeks after a, after a checkup, they were being sarcastic. They're like, oh well."
Yeah, well, I'm just
Like,
saying my thoughts on this. Okay, just some research I was doing, some additional reading on this. Like, because it's not uncommon when you're the CEO of a big company like United Healthcare. United Healthcare is one of they call it like the research triangle, or like there's huge medical companies like 3M and like the Mayo Clinic. United Healthcare is one. They're all in Minnesota, right? So it's when you're a CEO like this, your life is insured. And I'm not talking about like by your wife, but by your company, like your life is insured. Because if something like this happens, then it can affect the stock price. Like right now, the stock price is probably fluctuating wildly. It's a big deal in the markets if that happens. And they said that he had zero security with him. Like it's not uncommon for CEOs to have security with them. So this was like from the business side, because think about it. It's either from the business side, like something happened, because this is very clearly not an accident. This is they're calling it extremely intentional. So,
yeah.
or I don't know, is there some sort of dispute going on at home? I don't know. Like, I'm just saying he had no security with him, like from the corporate side. They had no idea this was coming. He was alone. So this is about to be a Dateline episode. I'm just saying, this is about to be a Dateline episode. Like, what? R.I.P. Brian Thompson. I actually did some research on him, too. I mean, can any CEO be that great of a person? But he actually doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah.
It seems like people genuinely liked this guy, and people are kind of horrified. Like,
yikes.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, he must be awful. And I was like, oh, that's not what other people are saying about him.
Damn, shoot.
Guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live. We really appreciate your support. Okay, so I just want to talk about this. I've talked about this before because there have been several different lawsuits going on. This is one of the people Trump pardoned, Dinesh D'Souza, who was one of the companies behind 2,000 Mules, which was a complete lie, right? And I said, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which was originally about upholding Jim Crow laws, but is their kind of like scary state police, they investigated True the Vote, which is the shady company that apparently had this fake data that is completely not real. Salem Media and Dinesh D'Souza, they were all under investigation. And then they started admitting the truth. Like True the Vote said, oh, I thought Dinesh D'Souza had the actual data that proved any of this. We don't have it. And
oh my God.
Dinesh D'Souza's like, I thought they had it. So like they've all in different court filings, like already once in federal court, I think back in May, had to admit like, I never had any proof. I thought the other people had proof. None of this is true. All of this, all of the lies. And if you guys don't know, there's a specific man. Like what this is about now is a specific man. I'm not even going to bother to say his name, who is suing them because his actual face was used. And True the Vote and Salem Media, like he was just dropping off, which is completely legal in Georgia, right? It's like him, his wife, and I think he had 2 kids living with him over 18 who were just voting, and he took their ballots and put them in a drop box. And Crazy True the Vote had this on video, and they said, True the Vote's side is this. We told Dinesh D'Souza that man wasn't doing anything wrong, and we didn't have any evidence he was doing anything wrong, and that's why we blurred out his face. But then Dinesh D'Souza posted his face everywhere. This is this man's life. He has been harassed. He's not safe at home. Like MAGA went after this guy, and all he was doing was legally doing what you can in the state of Georgia, which was confirmed by the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, which was dropping off his family's ballots. And so
That's
Dinesh,
so sad.
oh, it's really sad. Yeah. This is him. If you guys don't know, his daughter is married to a Texas state legislature. Her name's Danielle D'Souza. I can't remember his name now, but he's particularly conservative and particularly gross. Wait, I just wanted to read. Oh, I guess his name is here. It's Mark Andrews, but this is what Dinesh D'Souza, because he says he's just doing this on his own. No, the summary judgment is coming down against Dinesh D'Souza like next week. He's the summary judgment's coming, and Dinesh D'Souza's like trying to stop the bleeding. Like, let's not pretend this man has had a moment of caring about what's right or wrong. He has not. He said, I owe this individual, Mark Andrews, an apology, Mr. D'Souza said. I now understand that surveillance videos used in the film were characterized on the basis of inaccurate information provided to me and my team. If I had known then that the videos were not linked to geolocation data, which everyone told him. By the way, everyone told him this was immediately debunked. This was his most successful production ever. He made a lot of money off this. And it was immediately debunked. Everyone's like, that's just some random data. That doesn't link back to like the videos you have. You have no idea what you're talking about.
It's done irreversible harm. There will be people arguing till their death that this video proved the election was stolen.
Right.
I don't think there's no way to undo that.
I completely agree. You can even, I mean, how many times in debates I've tried to be like, I used to have the federal court documents, like back in May when the federal court thing happened. I was like, here is True the Vote. Here are all these people saying, oh, I actually had no proof of this. They all have admitted it in court. And they're like, nope, it's true. But listen to what he did, though. Listen to how shady this is. I just need to read this part. He said, if I had known then that the videos were not linked to geolocation data, I would have clarified this differently and produced and edited the film differently. But, wait, I need to find this part where he says, it was never, and this is Salem Media, it was never our intent that the publication of 2,000 Mules and book harm Mr. Andrews. Oh, wasn't it, though?
Okay.
But no, and then listen, I got to find this part where basically then he's like, sorry, not sorry. In his statement, Mr. D'Souza said he was apologizing not under the terms of a settlement agreement or other duress, but because it was the right thing to do given what he now learned. Despite his apology, Mr. D'Souza insisted his statement that, quote, the underlying premise of the film holds true.
Oh my God.
So basically he did this apology. He's terrified of the summary judgment. He's about to owe this man a lot of money for slandering and defaming him publicly for years. So he's like, oh, I'm doing this not under duress and not because of the lawsuit. Like, I'm not compelled to do this. But by the way,
Sure.
the underlying premise is true. No, none of it is true. So basically at the end, he's like, I'm not sorry. And I still believe all of it's true. He has no proof. There's no proof. You can read I just invite anyone, like, it happened. This was going on in court like March through May, and you can read them all admit in court that they had never had any proof. He admitted it again now in this case. This is a separate case from, they had many lawsuits against them about this. So they're just trying to mitigate damage, but they are not sorry. These people are not sorry. Oh, they bring it up all the time. Amen. I could not agree more. Um, this is another part. So this is interesting. So Trump had another cabinet pick withdraw. I'm sure you didn't. Oh my gosh. His name's Chad Chronister. Now, this was interesting, though. This was a Florida sheriff, right? And he basically just withdrew himself quietly. Do you know why? Because MAGA basically has relentlessly gone after him and made his life miserable because he believes in evidence-based science too much, because he basically believes in vaccines. He
Oh my God.
Yeah, he policed COVID a little too heavily for MAGA, and that's disqualifying. This is what this is. Oh, and they found film of him in a pride parade.
Oh, goodness
Yeah,
gracious.
that was a big one. They found film of him in a pride parade, and they were like, "Oh yeah, yes, he supported pride." And they found some film of him doing that, and they were like, "Oh hell no, like, get me out of here!" Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Chronister, by the way, and that's what this is. So again, this is one of Trump's billionaire links, right? Chronister is actually very close to DeSantis, right? But also, Chronister is married to the daughter of the former owner of the San Francisco 49ers, of whom gave Trump, guess what? Millions upon millions of dollars. This is another oligarchy, crony capitalism appointment gone wrong. Like, yeah, so just to be clear, yes, he does have ties to billionaires. Yes, this is somebody who, is related to somebody who's married to someone's daughter that, whose daddy has a lot of money and gave it to Trump.
Hey, hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today?
Hello.
I just wanted to come up and say we have 370 people in the live. If everyone taps the screen with 2 fingers for 60 seconds, we'll get at least 110,000 likes. So there is no excuse for us to be at 53,000 right now. No excuse. If we cannot get these numbers up, I will turn the comments off for 10 minutes. So let me see some taps. All right, let me see some gifts for Pickles and some gifts for Felice. Thank you, guys.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I was like, I
Thank
cannot
you,
hear
Foss.
myself talking. Thank you so much, Chrissy. You're the best. Okay, hold on one second. Oh, I need to explain this. So, and this is something I was thinking, do I need to talk about this? Thank you so much for the subscriptions. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. Or I'm not, yeah. So this is related to what we were talking about last time, but I think I was like, I don't need to talk about this. And then I'm like, I do need to talk about this because Fox is not stopping. I don't know if this is real. I'm guessing this is not true because you know how Jesse Waters is, but in Foxland, all of this is true. And it's interesting because thank you so much for the subscriptions. Appreciate it so much. Yeah. And, basically Jesse Waters 2 days ago started saying on Fox News that while Justin Trudeau was meeting with Trump basically started talking to him about annexing Canada. Now, you ask why this has been something Trump has been Jinping. Oh, if Xi Jinping wants something, he just takes it. If Putin wants something, he just takes it. I don't think Trump's a real strong man. I think inside he's very insecure, but I think he looks up to them.
Yeah.
And he sees Putin, he's like, if Putin, because that Trump's going to help him, right? Just basically steal half of Ukraine. And he's like, I want something. So he basically allegedly told Justin Trudeau, oh, we can just make Canada a state Listen to this. I'll just let Jesse Waters make this up.
And Fox has exclusive details about how that Mar-a-Lago sit-down went. The two talked tariffs over crab cocktail and oysters. At one point, Trump told Trudeau to get our trade deficit under control, telling the prime minister it is unacceptable for the U.S. to run up to like $100 billion trade deficit. And if they don't, they can expect.
By the way, Trump has a long history of not understanding trade deficits. There is absolutely no problem with trade deficits. Trump truly does not understand how the economy works. And that is like, he always does this. Like, tell me without telling me you have no idea how the global economy works. There's nothing wrong with a trade deficit. Like, he's like, get up. This is just Trump making excuses, right? Because again, remember, tariffs are just billionaire. They're going to renew the tax cuts, right? Billionaires and corporations are getting a tax cut. That's why oil and gas doubled, had to back him because they want the tax cuts. They want corporate tax cuts. They want personal tax cuts, right? That's what's going on. And so the way we're going to pay their taxes is with these tariffs. But that's not good because people are going to get angry. So now Trump is saying, oh, there's trade deficits that need to be made up. That's not a thing. No one cares. And the other thing is the war on the illicit, on illicit substances, right? There's probably more of the F substance coming into Canada from the US than the other way around. It's completely delusional. Like, stop, Trump.
Flat 25% tariff on all Canadian goods day one. Trudeau apparently wasn't thrilled. Sacre bleu, you will kill our economy, he said. Then Trump said if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S., they're free to join America as our 51st state. And when someone at the table pointed out that would probably be a pretty Democrat state, Trump says we'll split Canada in two, the conservative side and the liberal side, to keep it fair electorally. And if Justin wants to stick around, he can be Canada's governor.
I just have to call something funny out in the comments. Jeff said, I have a trade deficit with my cable company. That's exactly right. That's exactly the point, which is that bad? If your cable company is America and Canada is Jeff, is it bad for us if there's a trade deficit? No. It's ridiculous. And again, this is just exactly what he tried to do with Claudia Sheinbaum. This is Fox News and Jesse Waters is the worst of them, carrying water for Trump, right? Trump wants to come off as he won. He won nothing. All Justin Trudeau said is, and was quoted by CNN, like, I went there to explain to Donald Trump how the global economy works, how trade blocks work, how tariffs work, and how we have our own retaliatory tariffs we'd put on them, and it would be mutually assured destruction. I mean, that's what Justin Trudeau said, but allegedly all of this nonsense, which, by the way, it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of what's going on in Canada. It would be horrible for conservatives in America if Canada not just became, and even if it was like, oh, it would be two states. You don't understand. There's 3 political parties in Canada, right? Their political system is different from here, and it's not as polarized, right? Even what they would consider Republicans still love universal health care. They still get social programs. They still are big fans of social programs. The farthest right Republicans in Canada are like, let's say, 2008 Republicans. Do you know what I'm saying? They are not anywhere near like believing the delusions of, hey, billionaires are robbing us and MAGA believes it's immigrants. These people are nowhere near that. They're benefiting from universal health care, from other social programs, and they love it, right? I mean, truly, there's 3 parties. There's it's like, I can't even remember. It's like the National Democratic People's Party. I don't even know. Something like that. There's like one that's mainly in the West, and then there's the Free Quebec, the Frenadians. They should be annexed, and Quebec should be its own country. The French Canadians, those people, and then there's like another like middle of the road. But it would be all bad for conservatives, right? At the very least, they're all going to want universal health care. So it just goes to show, like, make it any of it make sense. But anyways, Trump posted this.
Maybe they can go back to a different.
Oh, wait. So I'll just show you it first. Trump posted this. It's a picture of him allegedly annexing Canada. Like, where is Canada? If he did this with Mexico, if he did this to Claudia Sheinbaum, she'd be like, oh, hell no. You have lost your mind.
Oh my God. How full of yourself do you have to be? Like, I'm so embarrassed for him.
So, thank you. You love when I talk about Canada. I love Canada. I'm a huge fan. When I worked in advertising, I used to have to travel to Toronto all the time. I'm a huge fan. I wish I could live in Toronto. Sorry, I'm a big Canadian fan. But fill out my asylum paperwork. I'm coming. But listen to this. You tell me, is it weird if a 50-year-old man is calling Trump daddy? Why are full-grown men on Fox News constantly calling Trump daddy? Why? It's weird. You guys are weird. It's not cool. And they're like, yeah, just owned it. And it's like, no, you just called an 80-year-old man that paints himself orange every morning daddy.
Maybe they can go back to a different flag.
Now this is an AI generated image, but this is kind of tweaking the situation with Trudeau. But he did look like a little child sitting next to President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I couldn't help but think,
yeah, because he's fit. If you mean because his body is proportionate, like, what do you mean by that? Justin Trudeau is a normal-sized man who many people around the world find attractive. She's saying that Justin Trudeau looked like a little child next to Trump. It's not like their meeting was filmed.
To a different flag.
Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure Justin Trudeau isn't. Can you Google how tall Justin Trudeau is? I'm pretty sure he's at least the size of, like, Trump goes around. I've heard Trump try to say he's 6'3". I've seen Trump in New York. He's like 6 feet.
He's 6'2".
No, he's not. He might be 6'1".
Justin Trudeau is 6'2".
Oh yeah. Okay, so Justin Trudeau is taller than Trump and in better shape. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying Trump was 6'2". I was like, he's not. I promise you, like, he's not. But so Justin Trudeau is literally taller than Donald Trump, and they're saying he looks like a child.
this is an AI generated image, but this is kind of tweaking the situation with Trudeau. But he did look like a little child sitting next to President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I couldn't help but think, it's another son.
Well, Daddy's home. And he's coming back to the White House, and he's going to make sure Canada and Mexico do everything they can to stop the deadly fentanyl that's flowing in our country.
We're getting into that next segment.
Yeah, he's serious. He means business, and they take him seriously.
So good to have you both.
Look, do you see that this is delusional? This is not what happened with Canada. This is not what happened with Mexico. They said, try it. We're going to just retaliate. Claudia Sheinbaum basically said, we'll just run our countries into the ground and see who has the stomach for it.
I also don't get it. So, like, is he going to do the tariffs or is he not?
No, like, he's not. He's not. No, he's not. He said, oh, we worked it out. I won. That means he backed down. He's not doing them. He can't do them. Well, and again, let me just remind you guys, if he did, then that would be Trump going back on his own deal. He's the one that negotiated the USMCA. That was his deal, formerly NAFTA, but he had to rename it and amend it so he could say that it was his. So this is just Donald Trump, the deal maker, breaking another deal, making a deal with our largest trading partners, and then saying, oops, never mind. This is what Trump does. He goes back on deals. He is a deal breaker. But no, that's what he said. He basically just went on True Social. Remember, you were here last time when I was going through all this, and he just was like, oh, we had a great talk. It's all fixed.
Yeah.
It's not all fixed. She said, try it. And for every tariff you place on Mexico, we will retaliate with another one. And then she listed all of the American companies like Ford, like Stellantis, like General Motors that are inside of Mexico, saying you will cripple your own American companies. Then she pointed out that actually there are no caravans. Trump tried to say you need to stop the caravans coming to the border. And she schooled him on that and said, we already did. Thanks, Kamala. Thanks, Anthony Blinken, which they did, right? They have the carousel now. When they start moving north, they pick them up on buses, drive them back to the south of Mexico, drop them off at the border. Some of them just keep going around in a circle, but they never make it to the southern border. There are no caravans. That's just a lie Donald Trump is telling. There's no caravans. It's absolutely embarrassing. And what was the other one? Oh, yeah. Then she schooled him on the F illicit substance, saying, oh, no, those are Americans sneaking it into your countries. Those are your people. 99% of consumption, which I think you're the one that told me. I thought it was 90, and you looked it up and told me it was 99. I have a good memory.
99% of the consumers are U.S. citizens.
Worldwide.
And 90, I think it's 80 or 90% of the traffickers are U.S. citizens.
That's what she said in her. That's what she said in her email. She said, or her letter on X when she dragged him. She's like, this is a problem unique to you. She said, if you guys would not invest so much in your military and invest in rehabilitation and education, maybe you could tackle this problem like other countries have.
Yeah,
Like, she's right. And again, she told him the truth. Hey, this is actually coming from Asia. It's not coming from here. It's coming from Asia. And Trump had tried
and they're just shipping it. Yeah, and they're shipping it to all three of us. It's not coming from any one direction.
Yeah, and Trump tried it with China before he did this 25% tariff thing. Remember, it was going to be 60%. Yeah, he doesn't have the guts for that. So he went to Xi Jinping and was like, there's going to be 10% tariffs. And Xi Jinping's like, I will turn off your economy. It's called mutually assured destruction.
So there's going to be no tariffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking like it. It looks like just he's got to put tariffs on someone or he's going to have to tax. Or think about what he did last time. He said...
Yeah, he just taxed and... didn't get anything back. The tariffs were, even if he did them the way he was supposed to, they weren't going to add up to the revenue he's going to spend with tax breaks. Not even close.
He's not a math guy, right? That's what he said. Yeah. He said, I'm cutting taxes. And think about balancing a budget. Anybody who is an adult knows, hey, if I'm bringing in less money into my household, I can't spend 20,000 times more. That's how he ran our economy into the ground. That's how inflation started. The first was the tariffs, then it was the oil deal when he went to MBS the leader of Saudi and Putin and said produce fewer barrels of oil, drive gas prices, to fix gas prices. Yeah. And then that compounded inflation. This man cannot manage an economy. The math does not math. So my guess is, he's got it. Think how many billionaires gave him millions upon millions of dollars. Think how many corporations. It's for the tax cuts. So I don't know. Like he has promised everything to everyone. I wonder who will win.
Let's just be clear. We're not going to make Canada the 51st state. We'll make it 51 and 52. You make Western Canada, that'll be Republican. Eastern Canada, that'll be Democrat. So you keep the electoral balance there. So many reasons to make this a state. I think has the third largest oil reserves in the world.
Oh, a lot.
So that makes us an energy behemoth. It's the most well-educated country in the world because we need a little help in that department. Talk about mining, agriculture, fishing, AI, tech, real estate, Canada, you name it, they got it. We'll never probably lose another Winter Olympics. We'll have all of their skaters and skiers. Wow. Good luck, Sweden. And they share our cultural heritage. They share our language. It's just a no-brainer. Now, I don't know if Canada is going to go along with it, but there's ways to maybe change their opinion.
Do you want to end it there?
I'll end it there.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
The Army's minuscule, but that's fine. We'll pay to protect them as a state. But we're doubling the size of the country, America. Think about it.
Thank you, Jim.
This is what's going on Fox News. They're talking about an authoritarian takeover of our neighbor and one of our most important trading partners. That's what you get. Oh, Jace, thank you so much for the donation. He said French government collapsed just minutes ago. Yeah, there was, well, I mean, it didn't start minutes ago, but there's a vote of no confidence going on in the French government. And yeah, I mean, this is, it depends on how much you know about French politics. Like this is, they have a lot of riots and things of that nature. But yeah, there was a vote of no confidence. I would just wait and see how it plays out. And then there was that thing in South Korea yesterday with Yoon again, with him declaring martial law, and
Oh
then
man.
yeah, the National Assembly, like climbing fences and climbing in through windows, 190 of them, while the army is trying to block them. And they're like crawling through windows to get inside the National Assembly. And this is his own people as well. He's basically this is going to come as a shock because authoritarian takeovers, what Trump was discussing with Jeffrey Clark, declaring martial law, invoking the Insurrection Act, raising the U.S. military, and turning it on the American people. That's what he was discussing in the first J6 indictment, the first Tanya Chutkan indictment. That's why he wanted to install Jeffrey Clark. That's what Jeffrey Clark said that he would help Trump do. So I'm just drawing a parallel. That's a right-wing authoritarian takeover or an attempt at one. And then I think there's 300 total or something in the National Assembly. 190 of them scaled fences, crawled through windows, got in there and voted 190-0 that he needed to stop.
Wow.
Like, and now they're calling for his impeachment. Like I'm using, what do you mean what software? This is TikTok Studio. This is TikTok Studio that I'm using right now. And if you're talking about like these clips, I'm casting from my iPad. Owls, thank you so much for the donation, and said Pat Curry, Texas House Bill 1082, removing red tape for vaccination exemptions for school. I just wanted to pass this along. Oh my, thank God. Are you serious? For public school? We're doing, oh great. So there goes herd immunity for the kids. But Texas is protecting the kids, you guys. That's what's important to know. Texas cares about the kids. Thank you, Owls Are Magic. I'm going to look into this later and follow up on it. I actually did not know that. Yeah, but Texas is protecting the kids. This is right after a few days ago when a cardiologist at a children's hospital correctly informed the public on TikTok that non-citizens didn't have to answer on the forms. Greg Abbott at a children's hospital, is trying to force people to admit whether or not they're citizens and trying to tell people if they are, they're going to be denied care. They're not. And this cardiologist on TikTok was like, at a children's hospital in Texas, was like, that's not true. You don't have to answer that question. We're still going to provide you care. Don't worry about it. And then what was the response? Texas loves the kids, right? They're trying to increase their birth rate. Greg Abbott said that he's going to take Medicaid funding away from a children's hospital. Now they're stomping all over herd immunity in public schools. Thank you for telling me that. I'll talk about that on the broadcast next week. I'm sure, because Dr. Danny, I'm sure she's going to have a whole host of thoughts about that. Man, if you guys don't know the broadcast, I do that on Tuesdays. That's on 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, because Danielle is a doctor who has rounds to do, has clinical stuff to do and appointments. So that's why it's a little bit earlier than the People's Receipts. I encourage everyone to come. There's a lot of focus on Texas because of how conservative policies are literally in real time unaliving women and children. But it is just mainly focused on taking back the word broad. It's me, Mandy, and Danny, Potty Mouth Pollyanna, and we discuss how Trump and conservative policies are hurting women and children. So I absolutely suggest everyone come out and listen to that. And this is going to be added to the list of that. Yeah, as kids start unaliving, do you think MAGA will wake up? I mean, that's transgender youth. Somebody was just, I think it was Chrissy was telling me there's a trans creator on TikTok she follows, and one of this creator's followers just unfortunately unalived because she said she could not bear the thought of having to detransition. Like, yeah, it's happening in
Wow.
real time. The highest S side rates in the country are in the trans community. It's like basically, one in two have tried to unalive themselves, right? They're also primarily, like, as they get older, unhoused. Like, they are more likely to be SA'd. This is a population of people in the most dangerous situation of all of us. And the black trans community, I mean, we were going over that on the broadcast last week. The black trans community, I mean, it's even worse. It's terrifying. So yeah, I don't know how many people will have to suffer or unalive before people wake up. But that's what the broadcast is about, is speaking to women, because as women's rights are being taken away, as women are waking up and saying, oh, these people don't care if we live or die, right? Hopefully, right, we can reach them, and women have access to who? Their 16-year-old sons who in 2 years will be voting.
Yes, TikTok we actually just did before you came back.
What'd you say?
Just answering TikTok in the comments. He asked if we talked about France. Yeah.
Yes, we did. I didn't look it up. Did you look it up? I just know there was a vote of no confidence earlier, and then when that happens in France, traditionally there's riots. Like that's what goes on. There are riots. Francis has a long, they take democracy. They see themselves as the originators of democracy, and they take it very seriously. Like when something happens, they will be in the streets, and I mean everyone. They'll just walk out of work, and they will be in the streets.
It says this is the first time in 60 years this has happened. The most severe fallout to date.
It's not, the government didn't collapse. Like, it didn't physically like implode. It just, there's a vote of no confidence against the president.
Show me a big picture. He was ousted after just 3 months in the job. He was appointed by French President Emmanuel Macron, who called snap elections that resulted in deeply fractured parliaments with no majority.
Yeah, there's no majority. It's like deadlocked in their parliament. But and then Macron barely, it was, he survived by the skin of his teeth. A motion or a vote of no confidence, or the inverse, a motion of corresponding vote of confidence, is a motion and corresponding vote. Oh, I was just going to read. I thought that would be better. Here's the New York Times 1 hour ago. I was going to try to read a definition, but that was way too technical. France's prime minister loses no confidence vote and is expected to resign. Prime Minister Michael Barnier will most likely remain as a caretaker until a replacement is named. So it's not Macron, it's the prime minister, of which they have both. So it's Michael Barnier, and it says he'll still act in the role until they replace him. But the vote could further unsettle credit markets and create a wider opening for the far right, right? Like, yeah, that's the real issue there. Like, just like we're experiencing, I describe it, a rise of authoritarianism in America. The same thing is happening in Europe. There were huge gains in the European Parliament for the far right authoritarian parties. Italy is being run by Mussolini's granddaughter. Like, I'm not laughing. I laugh so I don't cry. I'm just telling you, this is happening all over the world, right? So and like I said, because of how aggressively France takes democracy, they will riot, they will protest, and as always, just like with South Korea, like my thought was when I knew martial law had been declared in South Korea, I was just like, the Asian markets are crashing. I actually first thought, I wonder if this guy is manipulating the markets. Like, I wonder if he's shorting stocks for somebody. That's literally that's always what I first think. Like, if you're wondering how this will affect us, the markets are fluctuating wildly. That is not good for anyone around the world. Okay. So this is good. And I think this is great because we're talking about authoritarianism. And Michael Cohen was discussing, like, Trump trying to just so casually say, like, I'm going to annex Canada. I'll just walk into Canada and I'll take it. right? And Michael Cohen was talking to Ben Meiselas about this, and I thought it was kind of apropos.
When China, after Trump becomes president, goes in and invades Taiwan and takes them over, when Russia goes in and takes over Ukraine, because Trump cuts them off financially as well as militarily, and then he walks in as well into Poland. Remember what I turned around and I said to you that Trump was going to do? When I turned around and I said he's going to see this like in the olden days with the kings, when it was all about amassing land, more land and more land. Remember I said that he was going to go ahead and take over Canada. And then after Canada, he's going to roll the military into Mexico. And then the new borders will all be the shoreline. I said it. I've been saying this for the longest time. Why? Because I know him. I understand him. He sees somebody else like a Vladimir Putin amassing land. He's going to be doing it for himself. And when China, after Trump becomes president, goes in and invades Taiwan and takes them over, when Russia goes in.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It's just I couldn't see the button. Thank you so much for subscribing, Frida. I actually love your name. That's really cool. But yeah. So I just wanted to comment on this. Trump has always been an authoritarian simp, and now does it make more sense why he would want these unqualified people who gave him millions of dollars to run the Navy? Does that make more sense now? Who are going to control the Chinese sea lanes, right? Who are allegedly going to fend off China for Taiwan in the South China Sea. And the Navy Secretary is a guy who has zero military experience. That's who John Fallon, a man who placed some trades for Michael Dell and is an art collector and gave Trump millions. It's looking like it might not be Hegseth, but next is Rod DeSantis, right? He wants a sycophant to be in charge of the military because he wants to destabilize it. He wants to be able to manipulate it and use it. So he needs loyalists who will do whatever he says. And when you hear Michael Cohen saying this type of stuff, that is what he is talking about. Thoughts?
It sounds like he's exaggerating, but I literally see it. I see it. Like, if you just think about how Trump, like his vision of redoing that giant part of New York, like taking over that big investment and redoing the whole block, and like he just has these like grandeur, like strange ideas that when you're a narcissist and when you're rich enough, you can actually try to do these things, and he has a history of doing it.
Are not grand ideas to him is how I would phrase it, right? He believes he deserves it, right? He's watching Putin do it. He's going to help Putin steal half of Ukraine, steal the valuable parts he wants, the Donbass and Crimea, access to deep water ports. The most Ukraine. If you don't know that Ukraine is a gold mine, you guys, Ukraine is a gold mine in natural resources. That's why Putin is interested in it and interested in the parts he's interested in. And Trump is going to help him by crippling Ukraine. Right. Biden announced yesterday, if you don't know, that there's going to be like Jake Sullivan was talking about one last huge aid package, and then pretty much they'll get no more money, no more weapons. They'll dangle in the wind as far as we go. And then Putin will make a move. I mean, and Trump's going to say, what about me? What do I get? Like, I mean, you could say that it's hyperbolic, but this is what he's trying to do. Understand why he's destabilizing any institution that could stand up to him. Last time General Milley said, no, I'm not going to help you call up the United States military and turn it on American citizens. Now he's making sure to install someone who will help him do that. Understand that. I don't know what's worse, if he went into Canada or he raises the American military and turns it on U.S. citizens for mass deportation. That's been unconstitutional for 100 years. No, this is great, though. So the Labour Party is in charge in the UK. Keir Starmer, he's a lawyer. He leads the Labor Party, which whenever you hear the Labor Party, know that means Socialist Party. They just had to change the name because Western civilization demonized socialism, just like communism. No one knows what it is, but you can't say the word or people won't vote. So that's what the Labor Party is, right? Keir Starmer is running England, and he had something to say about all the stuff going on.
So I want to be clear at the outset, against the backdrop of these dangerous times, the idea that we must choose between our allies, that somehow we're with either America or Europe, is plain wrong. I reject it utterly. Attlee did not choose between allies. Churchill did not choose. The national interest demands that we work with both. So I want to be clear at the outset, against the backdrop of these dangerous times.
Sorry, I was just I'm just pinning my live goal real quick. I love Keir Starmer. If you don't know, but first of all, the tucks and tails. Let's hear it for the tucks and tails. Like, I love a British gentleman standing up to Donald Trump. He's just like, absolutely not. I'm not participating in any of this, and I'm not going to help Donald Trump. But thank you. Oh my gosh.
The problem with the Democrats is they've never run out of things that they can give away for free, quote unquote. When you talk about $8 trillion in debt payment just on.
Okay, so I forgot what I was showing you guys. I thought this. Okay, this is really important, you guys. They're talking all day yesterday. I think I saw it 4 different times. None of this is on accident. There are senators going on Fox News. Right. And I talked about how the math doesn't make sense. Most of conservatives that voted for Trump apparently can't count. I can count. And I know that if you are going to cut 33% of the budget and none of that is going to come from the military, that you're going to slash Social Security and Medicare. I can do math. I know that you are going to slash Social Security and Medicare. There's no way. The DOJ committee could fire everyone in the government. And you still have to cut Social Security and Medicare. So I just want to say, yesterday on Fox News, like I said, I record 24-hour slot. Like I record all of Fox News. They're having senators go on Fox News and basically prepare people for Social Security and Medicare cuts.
The problem with the Democrats is they've never run out of things that they can give away for free, quote unquote. When you talk about $8 trillion in debt payment just on interest alone every year. We can't just talk about the military, though. And the military can do some things better. We can save some money just in the way of contract. We can be careful that we don't decrease our abilities because China is right on our heels. However, if you talk about 75% of the budget, 75% is non-discretionary. We're going to have some hard decisions. We got to bring the Democrats in and talk about Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. There's hundreds of billions of dollars.
There it is.
We know how to do it. We just have to have the stomach to actually take those challenges on. But we can't just talk about our discretionary budget. That's less than 25% of our budget. We have to have some real hard discussions.
Is there any Republicans in here that want to talk about it? Like, want to discuss why this is okay or not okay? You're more than welcome to request, like, opposition. I want to have this conversation, like a civil conversation. Do you remember that guy, Pickles, that sometimes joins your lives that we talk to? And he's like from Montana. And he's basically a Democrat.
Yeah.
Except for he's like, but people are in the wrong bathroom. But he is like, this is a Republican man who voted for Trump both times. Because the hundreds, there's like 500, 600 million spent specifically on ads lying about the trans community. I'll never forget it because I was in a swing state. Kamala is for they, them. Trump is for you. That's what hundreds of millions of dollars were put convincing people that where people pee matters. That is a distraction, right? But this gentleman from Montana we talk to sometimes, he will say, I hate, because the last time we had a surplus in the budget was under Clinton, but that's because they took a bunch of money out of Social Security and Medicare. The Republicans were in control of Congress, and let's be honest, Clinton was a moderate Republican.
Yeah.
And they took a bunch of money out of Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, our money that we paid in, and they used it to balance the budget. And this man knew that and was like, "I'm still."
He's like, I hate when you say that. It's like, well, it's why? Why do you hate that? He's like, well, he dipped into Social Security. I'm like, well, guess who's the king of guess who's the best at doing that? The Republicans. They do that all the time.
Let's save this clip. It was the Republicans. They were the ones controlling Congress. Bill Clinton signed it because he's a Republican from Arkansas, but it was the Republicans. And that's the thing. They're going to do it again. They're talking about it. All you have to do is be able to do math. They have to do it.
People are just now becoming attuned to some of this stuff, and it's so frustrating. Like the Make America Healthy Again. Like, hello, welcome to the Democrat Party. That's what we do. That's what we've been trying to do and fighting you guys every step of the way. And now they're like, hey, let's look at the budget. And it's like, you guys are going to be the ones helping us with the budget? You guys. Okay.
We're still on Nancy Pelosi's budget. I just want to be clear that we went through the entire 118th Congress and they never passed a budget. The Republicans in the House never passed a budget the entire time. Nancy Pelosi is still running the budget. They just have passed continued resolution after continued resolution. We are still on Nancy Pelosi's budget. Nancy Pelosi was the last person that could run the House and ever pass the budget. The Republicans never did. And now their margins in the House are smaller. They have less support than they had in the 118th Congress. Hey, Becky. I mean, it's insane, but I just want to be clear. I heard this more than once yesterday. They are saying it out loud on Fox News. They're taking people's temperatures. They're trying to get MAGA ready that we're going to take money from you. I hope that guy requests if we debate tonight and we can be like, what do you think about this? He's going to, will you be a Democrat now and stop talking about where people are peeing, sir? Like, if I could remember that guy's name, I think I'm following him. I hope you're listening. Come talk to us. Yeah, there's got to be a Republican in here of 533 people. Is there no Republican in here who wants to comment on Republican senators saying that they're going to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid? Nobody thinks that's strange. Yeah. Meanwhile, don't worry, Elon Musk, 2 billionaires, the richest man in the world, and his lapdog following behind him, who got his money defrauding Alzheimer's patients in a pump and dump scheme, are going to decide which parts of the budget to cut. And something tells me it won't be any of their government contracts. Their welfare will carry on. Our tax dollars will still fund Tesla and SpaceX. It's ridiculous. I just wanted to point out this article, especially now that Pete Hegseth might be going down in flames. I think the New Yorker, I always told people, read the New Yorker's expose on RFK. If you don't understand why RFK is dangerous, the New Yorker writes these long, I mean, they will be like, and it started when he was 2 years old, just like take you on a journey. And they did that a couple days ago with Pete Hegseth, and that was pretty much the straw that broke the camel's back. It's called the Pete Hegseth's Secret History, which you would think the first time, and again, he wasn't credibly accused of rape by a liberal like me who, is showing too much skin. This is too much skin. So I'm asking for it. If I'm SA'd, I was asking for it. No, he was credibly accused of rape by a Republican woman who I learned something new about it from this article. Right? He raped one of the good ones, a married one whose husband was wondering why she never came back to their hotel room. A Christian woman, a Republican woman who was working for Republican non-governmental organizations and was at a Republican conference. So I say this all the time. She wasn't like supposed to be the victim at first. He was down like at this after party at this Republican conference, and he was like inappropriately touching and trying to lure other Republican women back to his room. This is according to the police report, right? And what I learned that I didn't read in the police report, or I just didn't remember, is these women who were interviewed for the police report, you know what they referred to her as? The Republican woman who ended up being credibly accusing Pete Hegseth of raping her. They called her their crotch blocker. They asked her, please, this guy won't stop touching us. He's trying to lure us back to his room. He's creepy. Please get him away from us. And she was like the good person that was like, don't worry, I'll talk to him. They had like a loud altercation outside. The other hotel staff, security guards, and other people staying in rooms called the front desk to report happened. And then she somehow ends up in his hotel room. Her husband can't find her, and she, credibly accused him of rape, and he paid her off and made her sign an NDA. But I just wanted to read you some of these because I actually summarized, because like I said, this article is very long, but it's so interesting because Trump does not care, right, about being credibly accused of rape. As a matter of fact, it seems like him, as an adjudicated rapist, wants to surround himself with other people who have also, for some reason, been credibly accused of assaulting women, right? But what is coming out in this article is Pete Hegseth works for 2 nonprofits where he did what Elon Musk was accused of doing at his companies. Like, basically, there's another woman who was paid off and signed an NDA. Right. There was more lawsuits. And let me just give you some idea. This is CVA Workplace Misconduct. This is a nonprofit that had to do with veterans that he worked for from 2000, or excuse me, he didn't work for, he ran from 2013 to 2016. Multiple instances required being carried out of events due to intoxication, which this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is something Trump doesn't like. Trump's a teetotaler. He doesn't, you essayed some women? No problem. They're all liars, just like Stormy. But, you have a problem with alcohol? That's something else to Trump. Like, he doesn't like that. But, I mean, that's my theory. And I suggest reading this article. He was literally, this man is like 6'3", was carried out of events repeatedly by staff members because he was unconscious. Virginia Beach, Memorial Day 2014, totally sloshed, carried to room. Cleveland, June 2014, completely drunk in public. North Carolina 2014, passed out on top of female staff member in van. Washington, D.C. 2014, carried to room at a Christmas party. And then there's the S Club incident, right?
Whoa.
Where they had to tackle him because he was attempting drunkenly to get up on stage and perform with the dancers.
Ooh.
Also dragged out of there. Yeah, exactly. Typical. Exactly right, Dee. Women have heard this before. Here we go. Attempted to dance on stage with dancers. Female staff had to intervene with security. Harassment. Created a completely SA type work environment where another male that worked for him did in fact SA someone or was credibly accused of SAing someone. Hold on. Hey, Fee. Divided the female staff. I just tried to request again, or just let yourself up. I tried to. I don't know. I just pushed accept, but then it said something went wrong. It says he divided the female staff into the quote party girls and the not party girls.
Oh my God. That's not creepy.
These are veterans charities. These are veterans nonprofits. The Republican. Oh, by the way, run by the living Koch brother. Like, I mean, this stuff is crazy. Organization paid settlement with NDA to a female staffer. Second female staffer reported harassment but feared retaliation. Created hostile and intimidating work environment. Just
Wow.
reading the facts. And then the other nonprofit was called Veterans for Freedom. This is some stuff he did there. And this is the real scary part. This man's supposed to run the military. Like, we're talking about like $1 trillion budget. Like, he's supposed to run of our tax dollars. And it said by 2009, oh my God, you have to read this article. He had to send out like an email and call investors and donors and basically be like, hey, I improperly used all the money you gave me. It's gone. We only have, this is Veterans for Freedom, owned and operated by the living Koch brother. And he had to send out emails and call people and be like, yeah, all the money is gone. I used it for partying and we only have $1,000 left in the bank, but please give me more money. That's what he said. But please give us more money. There's 430.
No wonder he and Trump got along.
Oh yeah. But I mean, no, but Trump's a teetotaler though. Sloppy, drunken, like mismanagement of money. Trump doesn't spend his own money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Trump doesn't spend his own money. Like, this is not impressive to Donald Trump. Incredibly accused of rape, no problem. This, gross. But listen, so 434,833 in unpaid bills. This is a non-profit. Do you understand? This is the most stringent forensic accounting is done to nonprofits. This is egregious. Up to $75,000 in credit card debt, like for Veterans for Freedom. He just spent whatever he wanted on their credit cards. Used donor funds for inappropriate expenses and trysts. Required forensic accountant review, forced to merge with Military Families United. They basically gave him oversight with another nonprofit because they're like, what is this man doing? Compensation reduced to $5,000 for 30 minutes of work weekly. They're like, don't come here. We'll just give you $5,000 for 30 minutes a week. Just don't come in here anymore. You're like a liability, basically. Must be nice. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah, like I make like $200 a week. Can you imagine? So by 2012, when this was all like the end of it, like blowing up was like 2013. By 2012, he had only received $81 in grants. Like, basically, people were just like, you're a S show. Like, we're not giving you any more money. Get out of here.
$81.
And I just thought, let me just review. And this is about the being credibly accused of rape. Again, not by a liberal woman showing skin who was asking for it, by a Republican woman at a Republican conference whose husband was waiting for her to come back to her hotel room. That's my sarcasm. Hey, Chrissy. Yeah. So SA allegations from that convention. Women the woman he allegedly raped acting as crotch blocker. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chrissy.
I'm sure everyone is so excited to see me back up here. Yay. I'm not sure if you all saw it in the comments, but 415 is our next goal, and that's 200,000. With 550 people in here, that means all you all have to do is tap, 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 tap until you fill that bar, the pink heart bar over Felice's name, and we will make that goal. I know it sounds big.
I think she got a call. I was like, I didn't do that. I was like, what?
By 415, all you have to do is tap until you fill up that pink bar, and we will get there. That'd be about 5,600 or 56,000 likes. So it's doable. I don't like comment jail. I like commenting too. So gift, and let's get there. Thanks, guys.
You're the best, Chrissy. Thank you so much. I love structure. I grew up in chaos, so I do actually love structure. I kind of like when people tell me what to do. And Zach said, is there any real clarity on what's happening in the country of Georgia? Actually, you know what? I keep in my junior high composition book, literally, that is my list of things to research. I know there is absolute unrest in Georgia right now. I don't know if it's a coup. I'm not even, I'll get it. I'm sorry that I don't have an exact answer. I'm sure we could kind of give you a generalized answer, but that is on my list of what the F is going on in this country. I have so many things I want to talk to you guys about. We would be talking 12 hours a day if I did that. Yeah, by the way, they have iPad cases that are like composition books, which I just noticed that. I want to get one. That's neither here nor there, but that's a really good question. Thank you for knowing about Georgia. No one knows about Georgia. Cam says, "Hope you and Pickles have a great day. Thanks for the great show, Felice. I'm not as smart as you guys, obviously, but I try to absorb what I can." Stop, Cam. You're smart. You're very smart. And thank you for the chair I'm sitting in. Cam helped me get this. I'm neurodivergent and I fidget all the time. I'm sitting backwards Indian style in a chair right now. It's for like ADHD and like neurodivergent people, and there's like 50 different ways to sit in it.
That's awesome.
Oh, I know. You might like it. You're kind of a fidgeter.
Yeah,
I highly recommend
I can't give up my chair. I love my chair so much. I have my forever chair.
I'm sitting cross-legged right now, backwards. Like my legs are in front of me because you can turn like the front backwards. It's so awesome. Cam, can you put a link in the chat? Because yeah, these chairs are awesome, but I'm just going to keep going with the show, or I'll find it and I'll put it in the chat tomorrow as well. Cause I need to make a video about it. It's just the company, there was a little problem with delivery, but now, I mean, I'm in love with the chair. It's changing. Yeah. I'll put the link in the link tree. Hold on. That's what the composition book is for. Let me write that down. Link in to. Okay, cool. Yes, I can. Because everyone who likes to fidget in a chair, this will change your life. Now back to this guy being an absolute weirdo. So again, like I said, the woman that credibly accused him of rape was actually acting as what other women told the police was a crotch blocker for them because he was trying to essay other people. Accused of being pushy and touching legs of female attendee trying to get her to his room. That's what the women were saying. Captured on hotel video, having loud argument by pool while very intoxicated. Accused of taking victim's phone and blocking doors. She tried to leave. Accused of SA while wearing dog tags. That's the only thing she could remember is him like hovering over her body and like the dog tags, like, and the sound they made. Yeah, it's awful. Trauma is awful. I can 100% relate to that. And everyone in here who's had some sort of trauma like that can. Yeah, and the report from the nurse at the hospital, because this has to be reported to the police. That's where all this came out, is basically saying that there was possible, illicit substance in her system. Victim, she developed an infection consistent with a new partner, paid secret settlement with NDA to victim and her husband, failed to disclose. And this is, I don't know if I believe this. I'm having videos now about it. Trump's story and the Trump administration story. What do you think about this, Pickles? Do you think he had no idea about any of this? A Google search, like, do you think he
he has to. He absolutely would have to. Unless he does things like very literally, like we've seen him offer people on Fox News, like sitting there being interviewed, jobs. He's offered them jobs. Like, I don't know.
Oh, is someone? Yeah, Joanna. Thank you, Joanna. If you guys are opposition, if there is opposition, if someone wants to have a conversation, yeah, let Joanna know or tell us in the comments that you are, and we'll definitely let you guys up. I just don't. Yeah, I'm just unsure of who is requesting. So if there is somebody who is requesting that's opposition, just say in the comments, yeah, I'm opposition, and then we'll let you up. It's just a little bit confusing sometimes. Yeah. Oh, and this is something else I learned from this New Yorker article. So Pete Hegseth's story is that he had never received the police report. And they're like, the police are like, we sent it to him in 2021. Like, they're like, no, this guy's a liar. Yeah. And wait, there's more. So, and I just want to point this out because I said this. They are trying to Anita Hill this woman. Remember Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas, Anita Hill, the woman that said, and she went and testified at his confirmation hearing is like, this guy essayed me, like created a hostile work environment, did all this gross stuff to me. There was the Kavanaugh woman, the woman who said that Kavanaugh, she credibly accused him of rape. There were hundreds of tips that came in about it. And what did they do to her? When I say they're trying to Anita Hill this woman, they discredit her. They said they did the oldest trick in the patriarchal manual. Oh, she's unstable. She's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh,
You
she's
can't.
great. Yeah.
She's crazy. She wanted it. She's just crazy. She just wants money. She just wants attention, right? Like that's literally what they said. So I just want to remind you this is the grossest part. Pete Hegseth's lawyer is Tim Parlatore, who was Trump's lawyer in the Mar-a-Lago docs case. Trump's like, I don't know anything about this, but he got him somehow. Trump's lawyer is now Pete Hegseth's lawyer. He told me that his client was completely innocent. This is what Tim Parlatore, Trump's lawyer from the Mar-a-Lago docs case, who's now representing Hegseth, tells the New Yorker. Hegseth's lawyer told me that his client was completely innocent and that his accuser was the aggressor. Hegseth's story is that this woman raped him. And I don't know about you guys, but as a survivor of SA, after I'm SA'd, I don't normally pay off my rapist and then force them to sign something saying I can never talk about it. Why would anybody do that? Why? I'm thank you for reminding me in the comments. I'm changing the live goal. I have the hardest time. Like I said, I'm neurodivergent. Please do remind me. I get on a roll thinking about something, and it's hard for me to think about anything else. Okay. So yeah. And that also she tried to blackmail him. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And there's some other part about this that I learned that I don't want to forget. Release their investigative records. Oh, yeah. So, and then Pete Hegseth says that actually the reason that no charges were ever brought against him is because the police investigated and they determined that she wasn't Anita Hill. And what do you mean by Anita Hill? What did they do to Anita Hill? They said they accused her of being promiscuous, that she was like basically sex crazed, and that she wanted it. That it wasn't Clarence Thomas. No, she's sex crazed and she wanted it. And that's what Hegseth conveniently tried to say about this woman. And that she had previously accused someone else, that the police investigated and found out she'd previously falsely accused someone else about rape. Again, this is a good Republican Christian woman who was married, whose husband was waiting for her to return to the hotel room. So anyways, this reporter followed up with the police now, as reporters do, and guess what they said? None of that is true. Hold on. It says, had previously brought a false rape charge against someone else, thus undermining her credibility. He made that, his lawyer made the exact same allegation in the New York Post, which Hegseth demanding that Monterey County law enforcement officials release their investigative records on the accuser. Hegseth is saying, oh, they have these records. I don't know why they won't release them, right? So this reporter goes to them, and this is the end of the article. This is what it says. A few days ago, I filed a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act, with the Monterey County District Attorney's Office, asking for any information supporting the claim made by Hegseth's lawyer that his accuser had levied SA claims against others. The answer came back promptly and definitively. The claim is spurious. It's a lie. Spurious means it's untrue and it is a patent lie. The office had no such evidence. So they're trying to lie on a good Republican woman. It's one thing if it's me. I'm not to be believed, but a good Republican woman, how does that even happen? And then there's a list of other horrible things that he's done, by the way. On May 29th, 2015, he was chanting in a bar, kill all Muslims.
Oh my God.
Urinated in front of a hotel where CVA team stayed. That's that veterans charity he was heading up. Used 1/3 of Minnesota. He's from Minnesota, so just so you know. Used 1/3 of Minnesota PAC funds on parties rather than candidates. 1/3. Like,
Make
what?
it. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I should have made it bigger. Multiple admitted felonies in first marriage, infidelities in second marriage, impregnated Fox producer while married, mother called him an abuser of women in email, has tattoos that he has I'm trying to think of the way I can say this without getting in trouble. Very alarming tattoos. It's part of the reason that he was not allowed to guard Biden at his inauguration because he was seen as a Christian nationalist and a J6 sympathizer, and had some very disturbing tattoos that led them to say that he could not be part of the inauguration because they feared what he might do. Called gender diversity in the military garbage. Published, and this is the grossest one and something I didn't know. By the way, he published commentary, and this sounds weird, right? Because he never raped anyone, according to his story. He published commentary questioning if unconscious rape victims can experience duress. Do you guys know what that means? He's saying, hey, she was unconscious. And if you remember, the nurse was speculating whether or not she had been slipped an illicit substance. And he is publishing commentary questioning, like, hey, if they're passed out, like, can they really be traumatized?
Oh my God. He should be a huge pro-choicer then.
Tap the screen, tap your rage into the screen, gift Pickles. Please, guys, the best way to support us, this is my Cash App and Venmo. Pickles is right next to him. I know that's gross, but I think we need, for the record, to get this stuff out because some people should not be allowed. I know very few people are going to, that article is very long. It took me like an hour to read it. And then I basically had an AI app. All these bullet points came from this really awesome AI app I used to summarize. Summarize all the allegations in this article. And that's where I got this from. Oh, it is insane. And still, you'll see how much more insane it is. And admittedly, this was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is who broke this story. But I just posted the Bulwark story because they were the second ones, and I don't like the Wall Street Journal because Rupert Murdoch doesn't need my help. So Trump met with DeSantis allegedly on Tuesday, so he knew that the wind was blowing against Creepy Pete. Pete, hater of women. And obviously, like I said, I think what Trump probably hates more is the part about mismanaging, constantly being intoxicated and carried out of places and things like that. I don't think he really cares about the assaults. But again, I just want to point some things out about DeSantis, because don't think this is just Trump likes DeSantis. Trump doesn't like DeSantis. And this is my speculation, but no, wait, it's not fully mine, but this is what is really going on. He needs DeSantis. He wants DeSantis to appoint Lara Trump as Florida senator in the place of Marco Rubio. DeSantis had come out last week and said she's not qualified. If she wants to pay her dues and get qualified and get voted and have Floridians vote her in as senator, then she can do that. But I'm not going to appoint her, kind of thing. And all of a sudden, Trump's meeting with him like, hey, do you want Secretary of Defense? Wasn't he in the Navy? Like, he has military background.
I would feel safer with him there somehow. I don't know.
Well, he is like, he's he's a little bit, I mean, he has some crazy Christian nationalist views, but I do think in that place, like, he was in the military. He's a war hawk. He's,
I don't know how much Christian nationalism he can do in the DOD,
Oh, no, I agree with you. I'm saying that he will defend. I think that he would, like, Marco Rubio is a supporter of Ukraine. You know what I mean? They might not yell that in Trump's face, but he is. He's a war hawk. Like, that's what I mean by war hawk. They have, when it comes to the military, they have those old fashioned rhino views. He's one of them too. He's not one of these no new wars isolationists. He comes from the military, so in that way, it's better than Pete Hegseth. But I just want to say, this is, now we're veering off into my personal opinion. Whoever the first cabinet picks, they're going to end up under the wheels of the bus. Trump wants him to agree to appoint Lara Trump as senator. He's going to do that. He's going to install him as, Secretary of Defense, and probably fire him. Think about how mad Trump is about that campaign DeSantis ran against him.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
this is I think this would be short-lived. If DeSantis does not have advisors saying to him, "Hey, he's going to promise you something. You're going to give him what he wants, install Lara Trump, and then you're going to be vulnerable, and if he wants to get rid of you, he will." So I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate to this. I don't think anybody, the first round of Trump cabinet picks, you're all expendable. You're all ending up under the wheels of
Yeah.
the
They're
bus.
probably like mathematically they won't be there. Like 92% of them won't be there by the end of the term.
Yeah, I mean, if we just look statistical probability, absolutely not. And this is a man, he is bitter against this man. So I'm just saying, I wouldn't get too excited if I was Ron. And that's why he also needs Ron, because Ron is a war hawk. Ron's someone who can, there are other senators and people in Congress that do, in a way, listen to him. And he needed Ron to carry water for him. Ron has been, as someone who's always on Fox News, selling lies for Trump the last few days, right? That's what's been going on Fox News.
We're hearing that Hegseth has not been forthright with Trump and the transition team. Our source tells us, quote, he has hurt a lot of people as a result. He didn't disclose anything. Tomorrow is going to be absolutely critical. Now, all this is...
And if you're wondering what tomorrow was, so this was last night. He's meeting with Joni Ernst. Joni Ernst is the way they were trying to ram Pete Hegseth through. Joni Ernst is pretty high ranking. It was pretty high ranking in the military. But what Joni Ernst did and ran on, and what she's famous for, her legacy in the Senate, is making more stringent laws for SA. That's what she did in the military, right? It used to be if a woman was raped in the military, right, that they would go to their commanding officer about it, and then they would be retaliated against. And it's Joni Ernst, and I can't remember, there's another female senator who was in the military that joined with her to pass meaningful legislation to make it so there would be an independent investigator that could be reported to make women safer. So if they reported that they wouldn't be retaliated against by their direct supervisor. So for Joni Ernst to let a guy who's been credibly accused of SA, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it would be
Yeah,
crazy.
that is. Yeah.
Well, but Trump gave her a fake position on Doge, like Margarine. She's one of those people. She's one of these people who Trump gave her a fake job on a fake committee, and she started tweeting about it. So I was like, oh, they've got to Joni Ernst. But I mean, she would have to give up and tarnish her own legacy. So I'm not surprised. Yeah, someone said in the comments, I was going to talk about that. If you're curious about what's been going on, like, there's been meetings going on in the Senate. In the Senate, Democrats are going to keep the same leadership. Like, Dick Durbin's still going to be the whip. Chuck Schumer is still going to be there. I do think they need to change some things up, but they're not going to. But in the biggest change in the House, and the most important one, is that Jamie Raskin, in a fiery letter, everyone should look up this letter. I didn't read it yesterday because I did the broadcast. I didn't do the People's Receipts when it came out. But Jamie Raskin was like, hey, this is where battles are going to be fought and won or lost in the House Judiciary Committee. Like, Trump's most fervent sycophant, Jim Jordan, is the head of the judiciary, and I want to directly challenge him. Like, he told Nadler to get out, basically. He was like, you're not doing enough, in my opinion, which, as someone who's never missed a congressional hearing, Jamie Raskin is the man for the job, and he got it today. Jamie Raskin's going to lead the Judiciary Committee, and he will be Jim Jordan's worst nightmare.
Awesome. I love
Jamie
that.
Raskin might be on the Supreme Court one day. Like, if you don't understand, Jamie Raskin is one of the foremost constitutional, like, lawyers in the country. Like, that, I mean, it's not even a competition. Jim Jordan's life is about to be over. It's so amazing for us. Like, if you guys don't know, congressional hearings are like the Super Bowl now. If you want to watch a bunch of highly intelligent Democratic lawyers just shame Republicans, while Lauren Boebert is in these hearings being like, do you guys think that the sea is the sky and that aliens actually live underwater? And I'm not making that up. Lauren Boebert said that in a congressional hearing 2 weeks ago. So if you didn't see it on the people's receipts, that's a real thing that Lauren Boebert said 2 weeks ago. She's like, what if the sea is the sky and the aliens are in the water?
That's deep, Bobo. That's deep.
And then the military guy she's talking about is like like an Air Force pilot. And he's like, I cannot speak to that. I only know what I'm testifying to, which is absolutely not that. Anyways, okay, back on. Sorry, we got a little sidetracked. I just want you to hear what people are saying. These CNN people that defend Trump are scary.
It's typical Trump. All bluster.
Oh, wait. No, that's not what this is. I just found, sorry, there's a clip of Pete Hegseth dragging Trump. Because Pete Hegseth is another one, right? He used to be what you would call now a rhino, right? This is in 2016 when Trump was trying to become president.
It's typical Trump. All bluster, very little substance. He talks a tough game. But then when pressed on it, he's an armchair tough guy. I hate to say it, but this is a guy who said that John McCain is not a war hero, yet he sought his own 5 military deferments.
So he was a John McCain fan. He's a war hawk. He was you know what I'm saying? This is who Pete Hegseth used to be. And you could tell he was trying to be groomed for a Senate appointment. He wanted to run for Senate, and then all these scandals started coming out. And then he's like, guess I gotta move over to Trump. Now let's check out Auburn's former football coach, the senator from Alabama. Do you think he has a problem with Pete Hegseth being a horrible person?
Sakes. The police report is this. It says nothing happened. They didn't bring any charges. Now let's get to the agenda you just talked about. And Pete put it in his book, War on Warriors.
Exactly. And you can read a lot about that, as you just said, Larry. The thing about Pete is he's well-spoken. It's all out there. People can look at it. But a lot of this stuff was years ago. Now, again, you got to be responsible for your actions. But
did you hear that, ladies? As long as you graped someone years ago, right? As long as years have passed, it's fine. Just
guys, we're talking years ago.
Years ago.
I'm just being sarcastic.
Is dead serious. No, but he's serious though. He's dead serious. He's just like, yeah, you guys. So he was credibly accused of grape 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Who cares?
You possibly can do to get it out there, to talk to people. Again, when we get to the hearings, probably somewhere around January 9th or 10th, Larry, it's going to be about the military. It's not going to be about his past references. Now, the Democrats are going to do everything.
His past references, being credibly accused of raping women. There's a huge issue in the military of women being raped. And they're trying to put a man credibly accused of rape in charge of the military. Do you see how bad this would be for women? A man that says that women shouldn't be in combat has no respect for women. And he said, it's going to be about the military. Tommy Tuberville, there's a special place in HELL for him.
They can to destroy probably one of the better people that we've ever had in the sector as a possible appointee as Secretary of Defense. But that's all they have. And they're going to try to destroy him. It's not going to work.
Yeah, better than Milley, better than 4-star General Miles Austin. Oh, I'm sorry. He was a DEI hire, according to Tommy Tuberville. These people are serious. It's mind-boggling. I can't even listen to him. I just want to show you. Remember how we were always talking about Scott Jennings being gross? I just need to show you guys something.
Ordinary, I would say.
Yeah. Well, it was out of the ordinary for the newspaper to print private correspondence between a mother and a son, but...
You don't think it was relevant, though, Scott?
I mean, I thought it was pretty outrageous that they printed... but yeah, I mean, look, relevance is a different question, but...
I think it was pretty outrageous when we put Hunter Biden's junk on congressional billboards. That was also outrageous, and yet that is sort of the world
I think there's a lot of outrageous stuff, but I think it matters whose it is. I think that it's outrageous if it's Hegseth stuff, but it's not outrageous if it's Hunter Biden's. It's not outrageous if it's Hillary Clinton's. It's not outrageous if it's theirs, but it's outrageous if it's yours.
It's a letter between a mom and his...
Yeah, it's a horrific letter where the mom's like, hey, you're an abuser of women. I know you're going to gaslight me and deny everything and blame me for saying this, but you need to get help. And They're gaslighting and blaming the mother for sending the letter. If you love your son, you'd send the letter. Do you guys, just to show of hands in the comment, put a 1 in the comments if you want to hear the letter. Because I do have it somewhere. Well, I played it yesterday, but if you haven't heard it, it's pretty disturbing. I'll just play it. I'll find it really quick because it's pretty worth hearing. I mean, his mother is like, hey, you are gross. I don't know how to say it any other way. Get help. And you could tell, I mean, you could totally tell because she's just like, I know you're just going to gaslight me. You're just going to say that none of this is real, that I'm making it up. Like, I'm not, you're gross. Here we go. Found it. I'm going to keep this one forever.
On April 30th, 2018, one sentence was redacted by the New York Times for privacy reasons. Son, I have tried to keep quiet about your character and behavior, but after listening to the way you made Samantha feel today, I cannot stay silent. And as a woman and your mother, I feel I must speak out. You are an abuser of women. That is the ugly truth. And I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, sleeps around, and uses women for his own power and ego. You are that man, and have been for years. And as your mother, it pains me and embarrasses me to say that, but it is the sad, sad truth. I am not a saint, far from it, so don't throw that in my face. But your abuse over the years to women, dishonesty.
Do you hear what she's saying? She's already prepared. She's so used to being gaslit by her narcissistic son. She's already fending off the attacks in the email. She's saying, I already know what you're going to do. You're going to throw my past back in my face. Don't do it. Don't gaslight me. That's not what I'm talking about. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Yeah, she came out. Well, I mean, publicly, what are you going to do? Your son's trying to get a job. And she's like, oh, I hope you won't judge him by the letter. Like, I didn't mean it. It's like, no. There and then Stephen Chung, who's the head of Trump's communications, is like, it was taken out of context. You tell me what context this could be taken out of.
Sleeping around, betrayal, debasing, belittling, needs to be called out. Sam is a good mother and a good person, under the circumstances that you created. And I know deep down you know that. For you to try to label her as unstable for your own advantage is
the oldest trick in the patriarchy. You abuse someone, they tell the truth about it, and what is he do? He's doing this to his wife, who he's cheating on. Just so you know, in 2017, when that woman credibly accused him of rape, at the same time, he's married and is impregnating his Fox News producer. All of this is happening at the same time, and he's just calling the women unstable.
Despicable and abusive. Is there any sense of decency left in you? She did not ask for or deserve any of what has come to her by your hand. Neither did Meredith. I know you think this is one big competition, and that we have taken her side. Bunk, we are on the side of good, and that is not you. Go ahead and call me self-righteous. I don't care. Don't you dare run to her and cry foul that we shared with us. That's what babies do. It's time for someone, I wish it was a strong man, to stand up to your abusive behavior and call it out, especially against women. We still love you, but we are broken by your behavior and lack of character. I don't want to write emails like this, and never thought I would. If it damages our relationship further, then so be it, but at least I have said my piece. Redacted. And yes, we are praying for you. And you don't deserve to know how we are praying, so skip the snarky reply.
So she's so used to being gaslit by this guy. Do you see? Like, that's what happens when you're abused by someone. You're preemptively heading off like, I know what you're going to say. Because of my past, I can't ask you to change. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say something sarcastic and gaslight me.
I don't want an answer to this. I don't want to debate with you. You twist and abuse everything I say anyway. But on behalf of all the women, and I know it's many you have abused in some way, I say, get some help and take an honest look at yourself, Mom.
Guys, it doesn't matter. Okay. Her son's trying to become the Secretary of Defense. So she said, "Oh, just kidding. I didn't mean it." There's no way to misinterpret what she said. This is when he was credibly accused of raping someone, is paying them off and having them sign an NDA. His wife is going to the mother saying all these horrible things are happening. He's impregnated his Fox and Friends producer. What have I done to deserve all this abuse and gaslighting? That's why she sent this email. I don't care if she took it back. He did. Like, what do you mean she took it back? Like, yeah, oh, just kidding. Yeah, he's probably not getting the nomination. Trump's meeting, job done. That at least the New York Times did something right. I know. Yeah, exactly. It's the most awkward message of all time. Like, imagine and sending it in an email because you can't even. That's what you have to do when you can't communicate with someone because they gaslight you constantly every time you try to speak to them. I mean, that's where we pretty much are. It's like. Oh, it's so frustrating. We could get into we should talk about Kash Patel. I mean, it doesn't even matter. I just think I want to say about Kash Patel. Like, do you have any thoughts on Kash Patel personally? On him being the head of the or allegedly I don't think he's going to make it to FBI director. I mean, it like he's not qualified at all. I think it's a
Yeah, it
distraction.
obviously scares the crap out of me. Yeah. I mean, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm here too.
Yes.
We'll wrap up after this, I promise.
Yeah, I think he's just a yes man, and I honestly like his judgment or his character says it all. Trump just wants someone who would say yes. I don't really think he will get his. He probably will, but I'm not so much
He
worried
might
about
not.
what they'll personally do with the FBI. But I'm more scared of what Trump will do.
Or what Cash will do anything Trump wants. Yeah, like that's and
Yeah.
this is the point I want to make. And like I've done a lot of research about the Hunter Biden part, and I think you guys know me, so I've done more than a lot of people. So I just want to make an argument. Like I don't think I haven't heard people talking about certain things. I think Ron Filipkowski got this right. Right? What we know is 2 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago, JD Vance accidentally posted. Do you remember when all of these Republican guys keep tapping the screen, share the live, gift pickles? We'll only be talking for maybe 10, 15 more minutes and then we're going to end, I promise. But this is important. So this is the line of logic I want everyone to follow and think about how Kash Patel relates to the Hunter Biden pardon. Like 2.5 weeks ago, if you remember, and we were talking about this, when Junior was doing gummies, if you know what gummies are, at the SpaceX rocket launch, who else was there with him? Like 3 other Republican senators were with Trump, and Republican senators who showed up in the House were freaking out, and they were like, "Where is everybody? Biden is forcing through more federal judges." If you guys don't know, Biden has now appointed like over 25% of the federal like judge Biden has forced through like more than 25%, more than a quarter of all federal judges are now Biden appointees. So that
I
is
love
something
that.
that Dick Durbin has done right, right? So they're freaking out because Republican senators are not showing up for the votes. So they're just losing the votes. And a very scary judge, right, that oversees the Florida appeal circuit, like with Cannon, got through. A Biden judge got on that appeal circuit, and DeSantis was freaking out. And he's like, why aren't Republican senators showing up for votes? And JD Vance, who's not a thinking person, because at this time, it's completely unconstitutional to fire an FBI director without cause. So, JD Vance is not thinking and just text his excuse because he's getting called out. Why aren't you at these votes? They're sneaking through all these federal judges and there's no Republican senators there to try to contest the votes. And JD Vance goes ahead and tweets, because we love to dead name X. JD Vance tweets, "Oh, I'm interviewing new FBI directors. That's why I'm not there." And that was the first time Joe Biden and everyone knew. And Abby Lowell, who is Hunter Biden's lawyer, knew they're not going to let this go with Hunter Biden. If Christopher Wray was going to finish his term, maybe it would be different. But he's going to install a new FBI director and continue to prosecute Hunter Biden. And I'm not talking about what Hunter Biden pled guilty to. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about go after him for other things, for the Russian propaganda, like stuff they brought up during the sham Joe Biden impeachment trial. They are never going to leave Hunter Biden alone, right? And that was the first time because JD Vance has a big mouth and accidentally told, hey, they're going to get rid of the FBI director. So that's the first thing. I've never heard anyone mention this, but I want to mention this. And you can look up this article. I suggest everyone look it up if you want to look more into this. What happened was right after Thanksgiving, right? Hunter Biden's with his dad on Thanksgiving, or they released like a 50-page document, Hunter Biden's lawyers. He was supposed to be sentenced this week. And this document, if you read it, it's very clear. It's not written to anyone else but Joe Biden. It's Hunter Biden's lawyers basically saying, hey, you need to think really long and hard because we've done our due diligence, we've done our research, and they're not done with Hunter Biden. You know, they're going to put in people that will get Trump the revenge that he wants. They're going to never let this go. They're going to bring new prosecutions against Hunter. These ones won't even matter when they're done with him. They're going to bring up things. They're going to railroad him over and over and over. And they're saying, hey, it's never going to end. He doesn't just need a pardon. He needs a blanket pardon for years of his addiction because they will keep coming for this guy and they are going to install people who will do it. It'd be different if Christopher Wray was in charge. It'd be different. But once he knew, and because JD Vance leaked it early, and there were already rumors about Kash Patel is saying, it's going to be me. I'm going to go after Hunter Biden. I'm going to go after Hunter Biden. He's been saying it for years, right? I suggest everyone look this up and read it. I mean, it was basically a plea. It's like, if you want to protect your son, we can't protect him. He's going to be the victim of several political prosecutions. Like, if you're wondering why the blanket pardon, that's why. It has nothing to do with these stupid, they already are exploiting the petty 2A thing that nobody would ever go to jail for, especially with an addiction and being a first-time offender. All of this stuff, it was going to be more than that. They're going to terrorize him forever. And that's why. Right? I mean, that is the real reason why. Once they knew Kash Patel was in, when Trump announced that, it was very clear they're going to weaponize the FBI. They're going to bring biased political persecutions of people, and they will never let it go. And to be honest, and I'll say this, I keep saying this, two things can be true, right? Like, and for me it is, I fully understand that they're going to they would target Hunter Biden forever, and if you have a son, you defend your son. I can also feel like, as an indigenous Mexican, part black person, that, hey, it'd be nice if I could ever get a break. It must be nice to have a rich father who's the president who can give blanket pardons for decades of time. I wish I could have one for my 20s. Like, you know, like, you can feel both ways. He can be the victim of political persecution. And also, hey, nepotism is a B. Both things can be true. But if you're a father and you know they will never let this go, and now Kash Patel, who's written children's books, do you guys know when he wrote that book, All the King's Men, or whatever it was called, well, King's, whatever, 2000 Mules? Do you know they put, Kash Patel bought a catapult and put Adam Schiff, who's now a California senator, who helped, he was a lawyer in Trump's first impeachment that they've been tormenting for years. They put his face on watermelons and let little children launch them at a castle from a catapult. You guys think I'm kidding? I'll show you. I'm not even joking around. This is a real thing that they did. Like, Kash Patel is not a normal person. Like, this is real. Oopsies. There's no other reason. There's no other reason to choose Kash Patel. Like, actually, there's a long list of other people Biden's probably going to have to pardon to save them from what these people are planning to do. Like, this guy is a grifter who sells a bunch. I was just going to show you all the things he's.
Kash Patel understands
now,
the problems
and think
with
about
the
this.
FBI, and he is a reformer that will not be captured by the bureaucrats. Contrast that to our current FBI director, Christopher Wray. We remember when he got appointed back in 2017, he immediately.
Yeah. So again, that's DeSantis now. Trump is promising DeSantis something, and now he's all of a sudden approves of Kash Patel. Like, I'm just making these points. If you're a father and you want to protect your son, you have no choice. They're going to torment him for all eternity. It was not even about these cases. It will never end. They'll just bring more. Think how long he was an addict for. I mean, it's like a 12-year period. Like, what are you going to do? They're going to bring everything they have against him. It doesn't matter if there's evidence or not. They will railroad him and railroad him and railroad him. Yeah, Dr. Fauci, God give Dr. Fauci a fucking pardon. Yes, Adam Schiff is another one. I mean, these are people who've been harassed ever. That's the only point I want to make. There's no other choice. Like and believe me, I am jealous. I'm bitter. I think we can all be bitter. We can say, man, I've never gotten a break in my life. There's a two-tier justice system. We have black men in jail for 25 years for having the devil's lettuce who will never get back out, right? We tried to unalive someone for fake shaken baby syndrome like in Texas. Like there are people suffering under our justice system every day. But at the same time, should we let people who are brave enough to say the truth and stand up to Donald Trump be terrorized? I don't think so. But we can also be bitter and angry and say, man, it must be nice to be a Nepo baby. Like both things can be true. You can feel angry, but you can also know Trump will not stop. Yeah, Alvin Bragg, Fonnie Willis. One other thing I was going to show you guys, or actually, no, I think that was yesterday, is they're dragging Fonnie Willis, showing a picture of Letitia James. They can't even get their black women straight on Fox.
Oh my God.
Yes, and when it was pointed out to Laura Ingraham, like, hey, you're yelling about the wrong black woman, she's like, well, they both hate Trump and they're both going to get what's coming to them type thing. Like all these people need pardons. Jack Smith has to live in fear for the rest of his life for doing the right thing. So that's the point I want to make, is just, you can hate it and say, hey, I've never gotten a break anywhere in my life. Can we get some universal health care? I'm one illness away from bankruptcy and rich Nepo babies. Listen to me. You don't like Hunter Biden. I don't like Hunter Biden. Look at what Hunter Biden, because of Hunter Biden's absolute S show and exploiting his dad's name and influence peddling, which is not technically illegal, but he was definitely doing it. He's a rich kid who uses his father's name. I also don't like that Hunter Biden is selling art to rich political donors of his father's and making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, just go away and try to keep your nose clean and be quiet, Hunter. Like, you've created a lot of problems, and just be lucky that your dad loves you. Yeah, he hurt his dad's reputation. He created a whole problem for our entire country. So he just needs to try to be a good person now and be thankful his dad did something for him. But I will be truly upset if Joe Biden doesn't protect all the other people from Donald Trump and people like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and all of these delusional people. Yeah, the art needs to stop, Jen. Stop it, Hunter. You could just go work at McDonald's or something. You don't need to sell art to your dad's rich political friends. It's just another slap in the face for us. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you guys videos. I think we've been doing this long enough. I was gonna show you guys. Oh wait, we'll end on this. Do you guys know I told you the only podcast I subscribe to is Don Jr.'s? I pay for it on Rumble because it's called Triggered, and basically either Don Jr. is doing gummies and he's like on uppers and he's like like can't stop talking, or he's falling asleep. And Kash Patel's another one who's always has the unexplained sniffles. Watch these two.
In my opinion, the solution is sending
Look at
Donald
Don
Trump
Jr.
back to the White
Don
House.
Jr.
Of
This
course.
is what I mean when Don Jr. is falling asleep. This is what he does. If you go, it's so funny. He has guests on and literally falls asleep while they're talking. It's called Triggered. He's just like, he'll just be sitting there and be like,
but it's going in with a full suite of personnel and the levers of purse strings that have to be snatched back from these government gangsters so that they are reminded that they work for us. And the other thing I talk about in my book,
look at him,
and people aren't going to like this, but we got to start impeaching judges. The last check that we
You can't impeach federal judges. Do you see what he's now saying? Do we need to pardon every federal judge that ever did the right thing in their life? Now he's talking about impeaching federal judges. I mean, this guy is absolutely out of his mind. Well, Dodd Jr. is also asleep. I just want to point out Dodd Jr. has passed out. Like this, you guys, every episode is like this. I'm telling you, it's worth the money.
have on our Constitution used to be the federal judiciary. And now we've seen them weaponized against Jan 6, against GJT, and against so many other people because they dared to vote for someone they disliked. These people are acting unconstitutionally, and Congress must impeach them when we have both houses of Congress back, hopefully in 2024. That is a drastic measure. And me, as a former public defender and prosecutor, I didn't think.
You were a lawyer in
He
Florida.
is
Be quiet.
swaying.
I know. No, actually, and you guys are not going to believe me, but this is him under control. I'm not kidding you. It's much worse than this. Like, I can't believe more people don't talk about this. That's probably why he has this behind a paywall. This is how it is, or he is like he could win the speed talking Olympics, and his guest will just sit there, and he will talk the entire time, like he's in a competition for how many words he can say.
I'd ever say that because I was like, judges are great. They wear the robe, they do the right thing. But now you look at any case that Donald Trump's been charging, and almost every judge, except one, is handling this thing as if they were not a judge, but they were a political terrorist.
He's talking about federal judges, big political terrorists, and Dodd Jr. can't speak. I'm sorry. It's just you can't get any better than that. Again, triggered. It's on Rumble. It's like $8 a month or something. It's ridiculous. But it's pretty wild. Anyways, so I just want to point that out. That's why Joe Biden had to protect his son. And like I said, the only thing that's going to really anger me is if he doesn't protect all the other people that were brave enough that James Comer was talking, they're going to call these people to Congress, right? Hunter Biden can't plead the fifth anymore. So they're going to haul him into Congress over and over. They're already planning it. They're talking about David Weiss is the special counsel that prosecuted Hunter Biden. But because they're mad at David Weiss, I guess, because somehow they think Joe Biden pardoning Hunter means that they need to blame David Weiss, they're hauling him into Congress. That's what they're saying yesterday. A lot of people need protection from the next 4 years. A lot of people. Anyways, sorry, Pickles. I know but I digress. Anything else? What time are you debating tonight?
I was just going to take like an hour or two break and then go live.
Nice.
So, I don't know. What are you feeling? How are you feeling?
No. Well, that's probably better for me. You know me. I'd rather be earlier than later because I got to do. Yeah, I'm just going to go walk a little, wander around, try not to get mugged. And then, yeah, I'll probably just join you.
Hell yeah. All right.
Thank you so much for just subscribing. It is so appreciated. Chopperly. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. It's a little small. So thank you guys for joining the People's Receipts. Pickles, well, whenever Pickles isn't tired and wants to be here, he'll be here. I'll be here. This is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We do this God, why is time so hard? I guess Elon Musk's going to have us on daylight savings time permanently, so maybe it won't be hard anymore. 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, 2:30 Eastern. We do this 4 days a week, and Tuesdays is the broadcast, which is me, Dr. Danielle Kramer, and at Potty Mouth Polly and Mandy, and we discuss how the Trump administration is unaliving women and children. And that starts a little bit earlier because Danny's a doctor and she has to do rounds. So, and I would love everyone to come. That is at 10 a.m. Pacific on Tuesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern. Again, Pickles is going live tonight. I will most likely be there. Thank you so much for subscribing, Anna. Anna, you are the best. We will see you guys later tonight. Later,
Thank you for having me, Felice. Bye, guys.
You're my favorite playmate.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.